pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to call the Lamar City Council regular meeting for Tuesday, September 6th to order. Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I forgot, roll call. Roll call first.
Yes.
Goodchild,
Yes.
Donlin, Wick,
Yes.
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Okay, do you still approve the agenda?
I motion to approve
Any second? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. We're starting off with a hearing. So first one is the Floodplain Management Ordinance. At the August 16, 2022 meeting, council set this date and time to hear public comments on amending Chapter 160 Floodplain Management of the Lamar's Code of Ordinances. FEMA and the Iowa DNR have completed the process of updating flood hazard determinations for Plymouth County, which includes the city of Lamar's corporate limits. The flood insurance study and flood insurance rate map become effective on October 27, 2022. The city of Lamar's is required to update our ordinance to reflect adoption of the FIS report and FIRM by the effective date. Attached is a copy of the updated Lamar's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 160, Floodplain Management. I'd like to open the hearing and ask for any written or oral objections or comments. Anybody here to object or speak on the floodplain management? Seeing none, I'll close the hearing and note that administration recommends the council approve this first reading.
Motion to approve first reading, ordinance number 974 to amend Lamar's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 160, Floodplain Management.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Wick,
Yes.
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Goodchild,
Yes.
Motion carried. Moving on to the next hearing, financing for wastewater improvements. At the August 16, 2022 meeting, the council set this date and time to hear public comment regarding financing of the wastewater improvements 2022 Ultraviolet Disinfection project using sewer revenue bonds that are not to exceed the amount of $7,400,000. Attached is a memo from the Michael Maloney with D.A. Davidson and Company, the city's bond underwriter, regarding the proposal. Required notice has been published in the preliminary official statement and resolution are attached. I'd like to open the hearing and ask for any written or oral objections or comments to the proposal. Anybody here to talk about the financing for wastewater improvement? Seeing none, I'll close the hearing and note that the administration recommends approval of this bond. The finances, the bonds are to be repaid from sewer revenue over a 20-year period. And I see that we're not borrowing the full 7.4, it's 5.
Correct, and so the reason for that is we're gonna do like the 2 issues on this, because we can get better tax rating on it. Because as a city, we can only go up to 10 million in issue each year. The hospital issued some bonds earlier this year, so that used up some of that space. So we're just using the rest up this year for this issue, and then we'll likely issue the remaining next year.
So this is for $5,640,000.
You're good with this, Jacob? I mean,
Yeah, for this project, I think it's.
I'll be the first to admit, when we get into these kinds of numbers and these kinds of how we're doing it, I'm as lost as I think a lot of people are. But my only concern is knowing what we have on our radar in the future, you know, coupled with this, how the whole picture turns out, so that's.
Yeah, no, I think on this project, we don't have enough cash on hand to cover it.
Right.
I think locking in some interest rates right now is a good idea as they continue to creep up a little bit.
So how are user rates gonna be affected? I'm assuming we're gonna wanna start looking at user rates here pretty darn quick. Am I right, Jason?
Yeah.
Jacob?
Yeah, pretty soon. I mean, for this issue, we have enough user rates to cover it right now.
Okay.
But yes, it is something.
All right, that's all I wanna be mindful of. Okay. Motion adopting resolution number 2237, taking additional action on a proposal to enter into a sewer revenue loan agreement and authorize the use of preliminary official statement for the sale of bonds.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Bruns,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Goodchild,
Yes.
Motion carried. Moving on to general discussion. Citizens' comments. Any citizens in the crowd here to comment on anything not on the agenda? Moving on to thumbs up awards. Brian, you got a thumbs up?
Pass.
Clark?
I'm good, thank you.
I would like to give a thumbs up award, and I don't know this young man's name, but I was in a hurry. I was on my way to my fantasy football draft, and I couldn't stop to talk to him. But there was a young man picking up sticks in the O'Toole Park, and he had a whole wheelbarrow full. I mean, it was stacked to the brim, and he was hauling them across the street to his house. So I'm not sure where he lived. I didn't recognize him, but thumbs up, young man. So I wish I would have been able to stop and find out who he was. So anyway, Steve, do you have anything?
Thumbs up to Pam Jennery and her family for their annual SIDS walk that they held a couple weeks ago, and I know it was highly successful, and I was able to be part of it, and it was really good. So thumbs up to Pam and Tom and all the family and friends that helped them.
Mark?
Thumbs up to Lamar's Police Department for handing out the helmets on the bike trail.
All right, very good. Okay, moving on to consent items. On the consent items, we have a list, an approval of the August 16, 2022 regular meeting minutes, a list of bills for period ending 8/31/22, renewal of the liquor license for the KCs, and a new 5-day liquor license for the KCs for the Olson Concert Bash, a request to close the street from Wells, a request to close the streets for the Olson Concert Bash, a Malali Water Service request, and a urban revitalization tax exemptions. Anybody want to discuss any particular items there?
Yeah, I've got 3, possibly 4, just clarification, no big deal. Did we do a challenge grant with Hotops, Jessica?
Yes, we did.
Okay, for some reason that totally escaped me, but I saw it, and that's fine, I believe you, but that one totally,
It's done.
okay, it escaped me, so I was kind of, garbage totes, Jason, are these replacements and or are they just additional because of more housing?
I believe they're additional.
Additional, probably a little of both. Okay. Oh, okay, Jacob, thank you. And then Wells's request to close street. Is there any time that we as a city want to maybe visit vacating that street to Wells? And have we ever discussed that? Because they
Years ago.
okay, they could use it as parking lot, we could vacate it. They come to us about once a year, every other year to close it for a period of time, and I'm not opposed to it, that's not the issue. I'm saying, as a city, should we look at just giving it to them?
I don't know how long ago it was, Clark, but that was discussed, because back then, they, I think, anticipated expanding, that building.
Yes.
To the north.
Yes.
I think plans changed,
Okay,
so
it was 2017, and there was some underground sewer and things that would be have to be dealt with if they were to add on. So then they stopped the addition, like Jason said, so I don't know where it sits now.
Yeah, I think there was talk, it probably came up about the time, we built our public works.
Yeah, I actually remember it being discussed once,
Yeah.
about an addition, but I'm not sure. But should we, just put it on our radar, maybe look at that? I'm not opposed to closing it, just giving them the street and let them turn it into parking lot. I think it'd free up that neighborhood a bit. If they had more parking, they could probably utilize it, so I'm sure not opposed to that. And my last one, Mr. Mullally. Jason, is there any repercussion other than the $8,000 fine that could future be no other?
No.
Okay.
Well, there should be, no. I mean, that would be because Southern Sioux would hook him up, and then if we ever get a water main out there, and if we want Tom to be, or any other house out there to be a customer of the city, then we just need to reimburse Southern Sioux.
Okay, so other than the 8,000, that would, okay, because I ran into Tom at Baumgart's the other day, and I appreciate you coming, Tom, but I just wanted to make sure there was no other repercussions, so. Okay, that's it for me.
Okay, anybody else have anything? If not, I'll accept a motion to approve the consent items.
Motion to approve consent items 1 through 7.
Second. Motion and a second. We don't need roll call for this, or, no? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Sorry, Steve.
One opposed.
You lose. You always do it that way. Okay, action items. Water extension request from Mr. Gallus. So Joe Gallus earlier this year purchased the former Donegal Insurance property at 1 Park Lane. The intent is to remodel the existing building, construct new residential units, and provide an area for potential commercial construction. All of this could take place over the next year and a half. Water to the property is currently supplied by a 4-inch city water main. The water main cannot supply the required flow to service the fire sprinkler systems needed for the structures. Gallus has requested the city's assistance in providing the needed flow. Attached is a map depicting the city's current water main locations and the potential route for a new water main. Administration is recommending the council approve entering into an agreement with Joe Gallus to extend an 8-inch water main to the Gallus property. The water main would be installed by the water department, and Joe Gallus would reimburse the city at 30% of the total costs. Estimated phase 1 costs, 930 feet of 8-inch water main at $30 a foot is $27,900. Appurtenances, $16,800 for a total of $44,700. 30% of Gallus's share would be $13,410.
Very similar to a few recent extensions. What you see in the black is the phase 1, and our intent is to get that done this year. What's in the green would be a phase 2, and that would be completely on the city. As far as cost, and what that would do is would give us a loop there. So right now, all we have is that yellow line. That yellow line is a 4-inch water service, or a water main. That building is currently serviced off of that line. And then all that on that aerial is the white buildings, or white areas on there are future buildings that Joe would intend to build. So,
Any idea what they are?
the smaller ones are
Storage?
duplexes.
Oh, duplexes?
The white one off of the current building, those are garages. And then that larger white one to the right is a potential commercial building.
Okay.
So, at least a site I think he would typically, he's going to just offer that as a building site. I don't think he has any intent of building that building himself
Okay.
right now. And our crews, did I say that in there? Our crews will be doing it.
That's what you said.
And so that yellow 4-inch would stay regardless, you would never.
That would stay. We just tie the new 8-inch line into that, so it's a loop there.
Is there any reason not to do phase 1 and 2 at the same time?
Well, timing, I don't know if we can, we'll be pushing it to get the black part done before winter. The intent would be to come back right away in the spring to complete the green part.
Okay. And the black part would suit his purposes, the green part is for the.
Yeah, because according to our ordinance, if there's a water service to within 100 foot of your lot line, then you're supposed to hook up. So this will get it to his lot line at least. And we'll stick a couple fire hydrants in there. Because,
Brian cleared up my first one, which was, is there any reason not to do them both at the same time? You cleared that up.
we'll order all the stuff at the
What's
same
that?
time. I mean, we'll have all the pipe ordered, but
Once again, this is outside of my expertise by far, but a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So it would seem to me that, are we picking the right direction? Versus, I realize you gotta bore under Highway 3, but there's already a pipe there. So I'm just asking, are we picking the right direction? It seems backwards to me.
and the railroad.
I'll speak for that. We have 2 dead ends right now. So if we get it looped, we'll make better quality water.
Okay.
So I'd much rather spend the money to bring that 8-inch over inside the 4-inch in, so we eliminate 2 dead ends.
Okay.
Then bore across and deal with the railroad and bring a larger line over there and still have 2 dead ends.
Okay, that's totally good. And then as long as Doug's in here too, is there gonna be any sewer requests that go along with this? Or is sewer okay?
The sewer's okay, I didn't show that on here, Clark,
I
but
see that.
sewer is, that's a little hard to explain.
Thanks, Rich.
Yep.
Down towards the bottom, it runs parallel with the railroad and Highway 3. That's where it currently is tied in,
Okay.
and that's where he'll continue to run all this too.
Is it on the other side of Highway 3?
No, it's on the north side of the railroad.
It is on the north side, so towards the fairgrounds.
Yeah, it's right in that bottom southwest corner of Joe's property.
Okay.
There's a manhole.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
And he actually did run another line. He had a 4-inch coming out of there. He knew that wasn't big enough, so he ran another one.
Oh,
to our
okay.
manhole. So he took care of that.
All right, sounds good, guys. Cleared all that up. Motion to authorize entering into an agreement with Joe Gallows for the extension of City of Lamar, or city water main.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
Does he have a timeline on that?
Yeah.
Just by curiosity, is there a timeline on either project? I do know that. He's in it.
No, I mean, I think that the 2 phases is okay because he didn't, I don't think he thinks he'll have that entire building, what he's doing right now, ready for occupancy.
Is he selling the individual units or are they renting?
I think he's renting.
They're gonna be rented units,
Are
the
they?
last that I talked
Okay.
with him.
I wasn't sure what he was, I had heard both and so. I was-
And it's 55 and up or 50 and up?
Oh, it is a 55.
Yeah.
And, when I last talked with him, they're not condo units or duplex, condo type units, they're actually gonna be apartments.
Okay.
And they're laid out as apartments.
All right.
So, I think there's
55 and up?
55 and up is what he was talking.
We qualify.
Not there yet.
Oh,
Maybe not Brian.
I don't qualify.
Sorry, Mayor.
All right. Moving on to the Destination Iowa Grant Agreement. The City of Sioux City, along with the City of Sergeant Bluff and the City of Lamar, has applied for a Destination Iowa Outdoor Recreation Grant for the development of the Siouxland Regional Trail System. The grant was approved in the amount of $7 million. The Siouxland Regional Trail System will connect 5 trail projects totaling over 29.5 miles of trail. Once completed, the regional trail system will provide users with over 100 miles of trail on a continuous trail network. Funded projects must be completed by September 30, 2026. Administration recommends council approve this agreement. Sioux City and Sergeant Bluff have approved the agreement. The financials are the plywood trail will receive $653,000 for phase 1, and phase 2 will receive $4,365,200.
All right, that's an error. It should be phase 3.
Okay.
Will receive $4,365,200. So that's hitting the Sioux City.
Instead of phase 2, it's phase 3?
Yep,
It's numbered phase 3, but it'll happen chronologically
yep.
second.
And Sioux City's the cashier for this money, correct?
Yep.
If I read this right? Did they disperse the funds?
Yeah, so we will, just like we've done so far, we've either sent them to the Betterment Foundation or we've sent them to Plywood to get reimbursed. Now we'll just direct these until those funds are expended to Sioux City, and then they'll reimburse us.
So can I ask hopefully it's not a really stupid question that shows my total ignorance. What is it we're approving? What exactly, well, I'm confused. It seems like this is more of a, this is how it's laid out, directive, this is how it's working, versus it needs any kind of approval. So I'm kind of curious as to what am I approving?
The grant agreement. The grant agreement that says how we're gonna use our funds, how we get contractors. This page 1 through 14, that's what you're approving. Sioux City's approved it, Sergeant Bluff's approved it. For the last leg of the stool to approve this agreement.
So we're saying if we're taking these grant monies, this is how it works. Okay, thanks for the clarification, because I was a little bit confused as to.
It'd be very similar. This is the same type of agreement that we would have had when we did our CBP 2 projects. We got economic development funds from the state for some of those things. We had to have an agreement for that too.